Well, welcome everyone to another episode of Finding Us in the virUS. Today I've got my good friend Kim Hammond with us. How are you, Kim?
Hey Luke, great to see you, mate.
Yeah, you too, mate. Today I thought we'd talk a little bit about creatively caring and connecting with people during COVID-19. So it's obviously a different world since we last had a coffee.
Yes, I'm missing our coffees. I'm missing going out in public. I'm an extrovert, so I can't hug anyone. It's bizarre.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I know you're an extrovert. How are you holding up?
Yeah, I feel like all the days are blending. I'm wearing the same clothes. I need to burn them at the end of the week. Um, and I just feel like I live on Zoom at the moment. So
Yep.
I feel like I'm in more meetings, but looking forward to Easter, having some time with my family and looking forward to our services at CityLife. So yeah, but a really interesting world now. I talked to lots of friends overseas who are in isolation and yeah, just really feeling for people, both
Mm.
financially and in wise too. So as people's jobs have changed, and it's an interesting place we're in.
Yeah, for sure. I think all the introverts are loving it at the moment. Just not able to see people face to face. But I think people who love people or extroverts are finding it really difficult. I know when I think of people that are caring and pastoral and love people, I just get a big picture of you in my head. So I know you must be doing it tough, mate. So
I've been sent a few memes that are like, as an introvert, please check on your extrovert friends, and then I get this little, "Are you doing okay?" So I've had a few check-ins from a few people who understand my extrovertness. So
yeah, nice. Well, obviously our world has changed a lot, mate. So do you want to just give us a little snapshot for you about your daily life? How's that changed with, family and work and rhythms and all that?
I have three sons, 15, 17, and 20. And one's home just on break, just deferred uni. The other two are home from school. One's doing year 12. So five of us are at the house. My wife's finished her job as hibernated, chosen to shut down for this particular season. So she isn't going into work. So it's been great to have Maria around the place because she's getting jobs done that I'm useless at. I'm not a builder or handyman and all. There's door handles that need replacing in our house. Um, I wish I had your dad's skills and your skills. You're very handy. I always feel sorry for my wife. She married a pastor, not a builder.
Yep.
Um, and But it's interesting. I kind of trying to get good night's sleep. My senior minister's been saying, let's make sure we have good sleep because I get up and from 9 o'clock I have Zoom meetings right till 5. So we're trying to have family walks and just trying to eat a lot healthy. I think sitting at the desk, the only commute is from the bedroom to the desk and to the kitchen. So trying not to snack. I've been really good, keeping my health plan going. But that you tend to sit more. I'm not getting the steps that I used to get done. My gym closed. So I used to love going to the gym 3 times a week and watching Netflix as I walked on the treadmill super fast.
Mm.
So just trying to eat healthy, get good rhythms. My teenagers are completely out of rhythm. So what's great is they sleep till midday. I got the whole morning silence around the house.
Peace and
So
quiet, yeah. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like, it is shifting our rhythms a lot. And I think the senior pastor's advice is really good because you can easily just go, oh, well, things are different. I don't have any to go out at night, so I'll just watch Netflix till midnight or whatever. And you end up coming out of a season like this exhausted rather than refreshed. And I think that's one of the great opportunities we've got is to still work hard in our work hours and to do what we can via technology and all that, but to really be disciplined in like I said, as a season of rest, but also a season of going deeper with God. And I think, we could just blow it by watching TV and sitting around and binging on food, or else we can actually see it as a real opportunity to, I guess, restock and get ready for the next season when it all lifts, whenever that may be.
I'm a spontaneous person. I always have been my whole life. And the older I get, the more organized I've had to become, more disciplined. And so one of my staff sent me a quarantine daily rhythms list. I'll send it to you. And it was just like, get up, go for a walk, have breakfast, go for a walk, start your day, stop for lunch, connect with your family in the house, read a book, learn an instrument, learn something new. Like this is the time of all those things. Like I'm redoing my desk and I'm just trying to get, create some, so you're not just on social media the whole time. I interviewed my youth pastor on the weekend for a sermon, he was saying put technology away at night and play a board game. And I think these are really good things to do.
Yeah, I think so. And I think I was thinking about us as pastors and having to sort of scramble to learn a lot more technology. You were just telling me before this chat about all the sort of different technology you're now using. It's been kind of enforced on us, but it's a good thing to learn new things. And I think if you just take the technology out of it for a minute and think about other things, it is a good chance to pick up a paintbrush or try some sketching or, read a book or whatever. So I think we should take that opportunity for sure.
Yeah, a bunch of my friends are painting, are taking up painting and drawing, and I think some of the creative things are really, really good
Mm,
and lethargic and good for your soul, I think. So
yeah.
I'm a writer. I've written a book, so I'd like to do some more writing.
Mm,
Just sitting there in the sun on my face, that's not good for filming. This is good light. See, I've got natural light coming in this way. When
yeah.
I sit at that desk over there and just enjoying the sun. I went outside the other day because it was our 14-year church anniversary. I went and filmed out, see on my front step of a big concrete brick fence. I sat on top of it looking over the park, and I thought, this is really lovely. I need to get outside more. So
Yeah, no, it's really good. I think we're going to learn a whole bunch of stuff, mate, in this time. So we'll be much better equipped on the other side. It'll be great.
I think it's true.
Yeah,
Very
it's
true.
really good. So how's work going? Obviously, you're a pastor at CityLife. It's a big church. This was sort of unexpected, so you couldn't really plan months in advance for it. So what are some of the shifts that have been happening for you in the workplace?
Yeah, so obviously we can't gather anymore. So we have one online service because we're a multi-site church. So that's brought a sense of unity to our church because we're all working on this one presentation or service, and everyone from all the sites are being represented. So I got to host the first week, got to preach last week. So that's good. We kind of means less pressure on the weekends. People are working more Monday to Fridays rather than filling on the weekends. So there is a little bit element we're trying to do connectedness rather than, so after the service we do a hangout in Facebook and debrief the service and pray for people.
Yep.
So that's been really good. I think this is what you talked before about even after the quarantine's finished. I think we are trying to post more worship and reflections and devotions, which we should have been doing already. So
Yep.
I think it has brought an online presence, and it is a real evangelistic tool. Like, I think people who have not been to church before, I heard lots of stories of people who are living with their elderly parents or their cousin or uncle, and they've invited them in to participate in church. So that's a great benefit out of it. I do think life groups are continuing. There were a few weeks ago be able to meet and watch it. Now they're meeting online, and really caring for each other. And it's a great chance to invite people who are not in groups to come and join an online community. I still believe fundamentally that we're meant to meet face to face.
Mm,
And so I think, there's this debate, and I don't care about it just for the debate's sake, but like I just saw a theologian write on Facebook, can communion actually be shared virtually? It's interesting. I have a really smart senior minister who's done his doctorate at Fuller, and he was saying in time of pandemics in the past, they suspended some baptisms in the rivers because they were dirty. So
mm.
there are times in the church where you make the exception, where you sprinkle or you do whatever it is. And I know you're a good Baptist, so I don't want to be offensive to all the Baptist people about full immersion or sprinkles. But just working out how, like, what we do this tomorrow, Good Friday. Like, we're going to encourage families to share communion. And
Yeah.
I think we can do it in pandemics. I don't ever want to, I know for me as a pastor, I don't want our church to become reliant on, like, this week I'll watch X or I'll watch Y. Maybe I'll choose to be part of the community. We're trying to create community. So.
Yeah, I don't think you ever want it to replace the face-to-face stuff. You can't replace that. But I think at the same time, while it's enforced on us, we've got to see the silver lining in it, and what
Yeah.
can we learn, and what can I guess continue. And we'll talk about this a bit later on. But what can continue afterwards in terms of technology that perhaps wasn't happening beforehand. So I think all those things are good to think about, and to think about what God might be saying in this time to each of us, and what He might be doing in the church worldwide. And like you said a moment ago, I think that opportunity to connect with people that would never walk inside the doors of a church,
So
just
true.
don't know who's watching, and so it is a great opportunity that way.
I think I was talking to James, our youth pastor, and he's a social worker by trade, and he was saying, lots of uncertainty, anxiousness about health, anxiousness about job security. There's ambient anxiety around the place at the moment, and so we've just got to be aware of that people are on edge a little bit, and how do we support each other, continue to do that. I think online provides some of that. You can
Mm,
just call someone, FaceTime them, check on them. I think they're really, really important. They're things that we should be doing anyway.
Yeah.
So I think it's forced us to think about how do we care for each other. So that's important.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know that you're a very caring person. I always leave your presence feeling very encouraged and lifted up, and like we can sort of conquer the world, which is great. So give us your three best tips for caring for people during a time of isolation.
Oh, that's a good question. I think I just preached this on the weekend, so it's really fresh for me. I think Luke talks lots about caring for the marginalised, the Great Banquet in 14. And I think there's lots of people in your neighbours and even in your family. If you just stop for a moment and pause and just think, who do I need to give a call to? Just send a message to, and not just resend the meme, but just really send have a call or a FaceTime or a video call with someone and just tell them you're thinking of them. I think that's really important. I think even my local MP, and I got this idea off the internet, and then my local MP sent me, sent everyone in our estate a note just saying, drop a note into your neighbours and just ask them, do they need groceries? Do they need a phone call? I think, yes, you got to keep social distancing and you got to be careful of all those things, especially the vulnerable, the elderly. But I think like Maria has gone and talked to all of our neighbours, and they just wanted a conversation. Maria stood outside, they stood well inside, but they were just talking about they're lonely.
Mm,
And I think the church needs to be at the forefront of these things.
yeah.
And I think there's still plenty we can do to donate care packages. I think, we just, DHS just got in contact with us with a bunch of children who are refugee kids who don't have any parents here. They're being put into emergency care. And I think it's really important that we continue to give and be generous as a church. And you see lots of acts of kindness. Even in our estate, there's 51 bears. You can take your kids on a teddy bear
Yeah, it's great.
hunt. Have you got that in your estate? Have you seen some of
Yeah,
those
we've got it in
things?
our front window as well. We've got about three bears, and everyone should have them. It's so easy to do. If you do nothing else, just put a teddy bear in the window. It's going to make a whole bunch of kids happy, and you might feel better about yourself too. So just go and do it.
It's thoughtful, isn't it? I
It
mean, the
is,
fact
yeah.
that my senior minister took his grandkids for a walk, and he was like, "Look at all these bear hunts. It's incredible."
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, so I think caring for people is really important, and I think the church, like you said, has got to be on the forefront. We can't just press pause for however long and then say, "Hey, we're back" when we get back. Obviously, we can't do things like our food van. We can't meet face to face in a park at the moment and stuff like that. But we're coming up with other ways to care for those people that are vulnerable. So I think we've got to keep being creative in that. And so I think that they're good tips on caring. So what are some of the most creative ways you've seen people connecting with others? So obviously the teddy bears is one idea. Have you seen other ideas that you think are good?
Yes, I think that leaving the notes in people's letterboxes is a good creative way. I think when you do go to the shop for essential purposes, look people in the eye. And, there's a limit on what people can buy. So I was at the chemist today picking up my medication, and they had one limit on one hand gel on a face mask. But my wife was telling me, like, when people buy fruit and veg, they've got a limit on them. But even if you buy just your limit to give away, think about people in the aisle. My wife's been noticing a lot of the people maybe a little bit older down the shopping centre looking a bit stunned. It's
Mm,
being aware of people. Just realise that they wouldn't realise how to buy stuff online, or wouldn't know. Oh, here was a good suggestion that James made. Buy a newspaper for someone who's a senior in your church and give them a call and ask them what they've read and ask them to talk to them. Buy a subscription. They don't cost hardly anything.
mm,
But like, even if you have an old iPad or something, think about some of the people who are not online,
yeah,
you could use an old, or lend it to them if you don't want to give it away. You could load it up with a whole bunch of worship songs, or some of the seniors have DVDs still. You can burn things and give it away. So I think there's still ways that you can continue to be really thoughtful.
yeah. The other day I was just going for a walk. I walk the dog every morning still. He's crazy, so he needs to go for a walk. So we both need a bit of exercise. I go in the morning. It's a bit of a ghost town, but there's still tradies working on the local school and houses and stuff like that. And I was walking past, my earphones in, listening to something, and I saw a couple of tradesmen up ahead. So I just flicked the earphones out and just yelled across the road and said, "Hey guys, how you going? And you're doing a great job." And we chatted for about 10 minutes. And I think maybe usually they just go, "Yeah, good on you, mate," kind of thing. But I think people, God said it's not good for man to be alone. I think people are craving that kind of connection right now. And if we can just stop and be a person who smiles, and people are a bit wary, like they'll keep their space, which we've got to do, obviously. But I think if you just make that effort, it's just a little thing you can do to make someone's day a bit better, and hopefully they leave that a bit happier and feel like they've had a bit of that connection they're craving.
Have you seen some of the GoFundMes for local restaurants and local cafes that are near hospitals? This is awesome, I reckon.
Yep.
Like a number of cafes that are positioned near Berwick or near Monash, people have started to donate it for health workers. And so that anytime, day or night, doctors or nurses can go and get coffee or food. One of our congregations is doing up and goes, the little
Yeah, yeah.
creamers,
Yep.
and giving them to health workers so they can have muesli bars, because they're on the front line.
Mm,
And I think be kind at supermarkets. Like a friend, one of the girls I work with, her son works at Coles, and they're taking all the notes that are being left on shelves and putting them out the wall, at the back on a wall, and reading all the just notes of people saying thank you so much for working so hard, because they're restocking shelves like unbelievable.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
all those thoughtful things, isn't it?
Yeah, a few weeks ago when we were having the toilet paper shortage, no one had a square to spare kind of thing. We did we just wrapped up a whole bunch of toilet rolls, so just one in a cellophane with a chocolate bar in the middle, and we dropped on every doorstep with a note. And on the note, we started a Facebook group just for our street. We're in a bit of a square with a park in the middle. And we started a new Facebook group, which we've now got 18 people on. And so there's a whole lot of neighbours that I didn't know before that I've now got to know through that. And the following weekend, we did like a neighbourhood stimulus package with a whole bunch of things in there, like a little packet of tissues for when it gets too much. And one of the things in there was a colouring competition and also an invite to a post-pandemic pancake party at the park. So it's a bit of a mouthful, but when it all finishes, we're going to get all our neighbours together in the park and just, really get to know each other. And so for us, that's been a silver lining. Kim, my wife, and I have just been thinking recently about how do we get to know our neighbours better. And I said to her, it's a bit sad it takes a pandemic for something to happen, but at least it has. And people are interacting on that page now and sharing ideas and offering to shop for one another. And there's this beautiful sense of community that's emerging out of it all. So it's really
It
good.
goes both ways too. I think you got to let people bless you. Like Maria went over the other day to one of our neighbours who's in his 80s. His wife's quite sick, and they're quite scared. And Maria's just chatting to them in the front yard. And I've got a brick wall. It's a bit grubby. In winter, especially, it kind of rains over the side of it. It gets a bit dirty, and I clean it once a year.
Yep.
And he lent Maria his high pressure hose. He said, "Oh, give this to your husband. There's no pressure." I was like, "It must annoy him when he's retired. He gets up every day and sees this grubby wall. So we're going to get out on the weekend and spray it." But like, what a generous thing to do. And I thought, exactly, we were brought together by the coronavirus. But like, we need to do this. We need to continue to do this well afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. Even the other day, I was walking at Lakeside, just around the lake, and someone had written in chalk, we'll get through this, and this will pass, and you're doing well, and all that sort of stuff, just as you're walking. And so,
Yeah.
kind of encouraging to think that someone's gone to the effort to do that. It's something little, but yeah, just that can't have that face-to-face connection, but just having that interaction, even by a chalk. I thought it was a really good idea. We've got some people at church like doing rainbows out the front of their property and doing little like hopscotch games for kids in the neighbourhood as they walk past and activities to do. And yeah, I think it's been great to see the creativity come out for people. And
Yeah,
I
I
think,
love the toilet roll and chocolate idea. That was really creative, Luke.
yeah.
Did
So
you pay? Did you pay a premium for the toilet roll?
yeah, we did. Yeah, we did have nothing to wipe our own backsides for a while. So the big sacrifice, mate. Excellent. So we're obviously coming into the most important time of the year for Christians. Easter is, celebrating the greatest day in history and usually a real connection time. Invite your friends to a service, have some hot cross buns with your neighbours, whatever it may be. How some ways we can effectively share the message of Jesus at Easter this year that are different?
People to do that this tomorrow and Sunday. Like, I think people can absolutely zoom into each other, and I think don't be scared of technology. There's lots of really easy free technology, Zoom being one of them, FaceTime, Skype, Messenger, WhatsApp, whatever you find that works for you. I would invite some people to participate in the Easter service, even if you break bread with them,
Yeah,
virtually. I think that's a way to just encourage one another. Take the same time and pray in whatever service you watch, whichever church you belong to. I think it's really important just to do it together. And I think that reaching out, just tell people, like I got Marie to take Marie's my wife, so loves themes, so Christmas themes and then Easter themes. She has a whole bunch of eggs and bunnies and different things. And so she's gone and taken a photo, and I'm going to send it out today. Just tell people you're thinking of them. And I think during this time is really, really important. So I think don't do it alone. Don't just get up, watch it with your family as a consumer, sitting in your bed or your lounge. But I think about who can you reach out tomorrow and let them know you're thinking about them at this.
Yeah, no, very good. It's great advice. So at this early stage, I mean, we try to keep these conversations short, but our conversation is never short, mate, 'cause you got so much good stuff to say. Make the most of it while we got you. But thinking about, thinking ahead to what happens when this is all finished and what a new normal might look like, what do you think some of the things that weren't normal before, what are some of those things that could become normal on the other side of all this?
I think that's a great question. Like, I think families, this is God has used this to bring families together. So
Mm,
one of the things we've got planned over the next 4 days, one of my sons is working at KFC. He's got tons of shifts. So
mm,
let me tell you, KFC is a central place
mm,
with the chemists and the doctors and that.
yeah,
So anyway, good on him, he's working lots of hours. But when he's not working, we're going to try and really create some family memories, board games, movies,
mm,
a meal together. And I think we need to keep those things going. A pandemic should not force us as families. I think so often it's very easy for everyone to be on their own devices in their own rooms and watch their own TVs. But I think if we can create some memories, this is a great time, and we're all cooped up together in them. And I think the funny thing about social media, I mean, Maria and I follow some celebrities who kind of let you into their home. Really, what we want is realness. People want authenticity.
yeah,
So I think if you get a chance to, people don't just want to be talked to, but I think if you connect with people on social media and continue to create a community, I think that will continue. I think there's some really strong community worship happening in prayer. There's nothing as prayer. One thing that I'm noticing by talking to pastors around the world is there's a real sense of unity and call to prayer,
mm,
because that doesn't stop. And I think out of this, a great movement of prayer is happening. I really believe in the renewal of God, and I think you'll see good habits and good renewal, good prayer,
yeah.
and that will hopefully muscle come out of this.
Yeah, Google really spiked in terms of people searching for prayer over the first 3 weeks of
Yeah,
COVID-19. So the statistics are there, even in nations that aren't religious, a lot of spike in people Googling prayer. So yeah, obviously people they're anxious, they're worried, what do we do? And often in those times people turn to prayer. So yeah, it is a great opportunity. I think maybe this Easter, some of our friends and family are more open than maybe they've ever been before. So you don't want to miss this opportunity. I said to our church last weekend, we're not pressing pause on Easter. We're passionately pursuing Jesus. And I think it's really important that we do that. I read this quote. My mum sent it to me actually by a lady called Sonia Renee Taylor, and she wrote this. She said, "We will not go back to normal. Normal never was. Our pre-corona existence was not normal, other than we normalised greed, inequity, exhaustion, depletion, extraction, disconnection, confusion, rage, hoarding, hate, and lack. We should not long to return, my friends. We have been given the opportunity to stitch a new garment, one that fits all of humanity and nature."
that's a good quote, Luke. Really, I think it's true. I think, it's a bit like the contrast of hoarding newspapers, toilet paper. My kids have sent me some of the memes of people, literally wives just fighting, and at the same time, the generosity of people like yourself and my wife, one of these, of just thinking of others in the supermarket saying, "Do I need to buy an extra can of vegetables or an extra toilet paper or extra wipes?" And I think if we can lift the generosity, both the church and humanity wants to be, people have a kindness in them. And Aussies are like this. We saw this in the bushfires. It's both extremes, can't it? Like, we can be really selfish.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen some terrible videos of people just stocking their whole, you know, their trolley full of toilet paper, and one person just saying, "I just want one." But teaching and modeling the love of Jesus that compels us to think of others. And
Yep.
this is what we often see in the Gospels. That Jesus thought about the marginalised, the poor, the widow, the orphan, the prisoner. Who is the marginalised? That would be my challenge for Easter. Who are the marginalised? Who will be by themselves? If you just take a moment to think who is, and that should change us forever beyond the coronavirus. Who will be alone this week? Who just needs a little check-in on? That could
Mm.
be incredibly gospel worked out.
Yeah, for sure. We saw it back to back, didn't we? Bushfires, people were so generous, and then the toilet rolls just a couple of weeks later. And like you said, as Christians, we've got to be that non-anxious presence. We've got to be those people on the front wave of generosity and trust in God and peace in the middle of a pandemic. And I think if we can continue to do that, we'll actually get a bit of traction, and maybe people will see something different in us that will be attractive and go, "Wow,
Yeah.
I want what they've got." And so that's what I'm really praying for as we go deeper, as we look outside ourselves, that we can have just as much, maybe even more impact this Easter than we've had before. So that's exciting.
I'm excited for Follow to see what happens with your Easter service. Can't wait to watch it. And Follow is an incredible church. I think you guys are doing an amazing job of being the hands and feet of Jesus in the Cardinia area. It's quite incredible. Seeing one on video, I'll just say this. Really, congratulations on the Citizen of the Year award. I think you totally. I know you don't care about accolades, but I mean, you leave out what many pastors need to, what many churches need to. So, if your whole church could continue to embody that, that would be really powerful.
Thank you, mate. And I love having you just on the other side of the line in Casey. But, I love working with you guys at CityLife. You're doing some great stuff. And I think the best is still yet to come, mate. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, agree.
Happy Easter, mate. Love you.
Yeah, love you, brother. Give my love to the family and all the Follow crew who watch this. God bless you.
And likewise, mate. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. See ya.
Cheers, mate. Bye.